are now tuned in to the 411 for your fantasy football with your host, Autumn Wind Williams.
It's Autumn Wind Williams, and you're now tuned in to the 411 for your fantasy football. I'm just kicking back, watching the Thursday night football on NFL Network, the Washington Redskins versus the New York Jets. And we're now into the second week of the preseason for 2018. Making this video for the lineups tomorrow night. It is going to be a 5-game slate. And they set it up pretty weird. It was a 3-game slate today, 5-game slate tomorrow. And let me see how many games are going to be on Saturday, as a matter of fact. I don't know why they set it up this way. I wish it was, they should have set it up for Thursday, Friday, 8-game slate at least. But it is what it is. It's still fantasy football. Football is starting right back for the season. I know everybody was hungry for it, but we got it back in our life. Let's see, Friday. Like I said, 5-game slate. Nothing's on file for Draft Kings for Saturday. Let me look on FanDuel right now, just so we are aware of our bankroll management, whether or not we want to play on Friday or Saturday or not at all. Oh, no lineups. I swear it's supposed to be some games on Saturday. But anyway, let's get back to Friday night. I'm making this video to let you know who I'm taking in consideration. I always say taking in consideration because I don't want anybody to say, hey, you gave me some whack picks, man. I didn't get no touchdowns. Defense didn't sack nobody. Your pick six. I don't want to take the blame. What I'm doing is saying what I'm taking in consideration, because this is what I'm actually taking in consideration and putting in my own personal lineups. And, I'm just giving you guys some info for you to think about whether or not you should put them in the lineups or completely fade, because you might feel that it's going to be too much chalk. And, sometimes chalk plays are good if you're playing cash games, but if you're playing tournaments, I can see where you might want to shy away from that. But let me just pull up the lineup right now. We have Kansas City versus Atlanta Falcons, Kansas City Chiefs versus Atlanta Falcons, New York Jets versus Detroit Lions, Buffalo Bills. I see it's going to be a rain game versus the Cleveland Browns. Revenge game for Corey Coleman. So, that guy right there might be in my lineup. Also, we have Miami Dolphins versus Carolina Panthers and Arizona Cardinals versus New Orleans Saints. So what I have right now at quarterback that I'm considering is Josh Rosen. This is his rookie year. I know they want to give a little bit more of a look at him to see if they should start him over Bradford. Last week, he went 6 for 13 on completions, 41 yards without a touchdown or interception in last preseason game win over the San Diego Chargers. Now, I know the defense is pretty tough for the New Orleans Saints, but it depends on whether or not he's starting or if he's going to face a lot of second or third string. That might make it a little bit easier on him. But whether or not he knows he needs to go out there with his A game. So I'm taking into consideration and playing Josh Rosen. Far as running back, one guy I'm looking at is another rookie, Kerryon Johnson of the Detroit Lions. I'm expecting for him to go out there and try to really be a hog on the field going against New York Giants. I think he can handle their defense with the rushing game. Let's see what he had last week. Johnson made his debut in the preseason versus the Oakland Raiders. He gained 34 yards on 7 carries while securing 5 of 4 targets for 33 yards. So this guy, he can ball on the field, and hopefully he can find himself in the end zone. So I'm going to take consideration playing Kerryon Johnson tomorrow. As far as wide receivers, I'm looking at not only Corey Coleman, since it is a revenge game after he got traded to the Buffalo Bills, I know he wanted to get even with the Cleveland Browns, especially after everyone's projecting the Cleveland Browns to go to postseason and possibly go to the Super Bowl and win it for the first time. That'll be amazing. They did a lot of hard work getting free agents, good rookies. They're now stacked with first string, second string, third string. That as far as quarterback, anyone can go out there and possibly do really good as a starter. But now he's with the brand new team, Corey Coleman. He didn't play against the Panthers the first game, but I know they want to see where they're going to place him. Is he going to be, the number 1, number 2, number 3 receiver? They want to know what Corey Coleman now has. Now that he's been able to study the playbook of the Buffalo Bills and kind of get comfortable with the team a little bit more, get to know the guys and see what type of impact he can have on the field. So yeah, I'm considering playing Corey Coleman on that revenge game. He's going back to Cleveland, so this is a true revenge game, even though it is preseason. But also, far as wide receiver, I'm gonna give you another pick, another rookie, DJ Moore. Last week, first preseason game, he caught 4 of 6 targets for 75 yards. I think he's going to be a great starter and really can be a dominant force as far as their wide receiving core for Carolina Panthers versus the Miami Dolphins. I don't think their defense is that great, so he might have a chance to make a touchdown or two. And I'm going back to the well as far as with tight end. When I look at the Cleveland Browns, David Njoku, whatever his name is. It's N-G-O-K-U. You say it the whatever way you want to. I'm saying David Njoku. Anyway, last week he caught 2 of his 3 targets for 46 yards, and those 2 targets were touchdowns. Yes, this is a great tight end. I knew about this guy last year and felt like, based on my eyeball test, he could really be a good tight end in the NFL, one of the top 10 at least. And Tyrod Taylor threw 1 touchdown to him, and Baker Mayfield threw 1 touchdown to him. So both quarterbacks are looking at him that he's going to be a big target. And, a lot of guys a lot of DFS players are focused on the Cleveland Browns wide receiving core and their running backs, but I'm looking at this tight end right here. He can really ball, and a lot of teams are going to be looking at the wide receivers too, trying to focus on preventing them from catching a big one when this guy might be wide open every single time in a red zone. So yeah, besides that, I'm looking at the Carolina Panthers as far as defense, going against Miami. When you look at Miami, who do they have as the quarterback? David Fowles, Tannehill, Brock Osweiler, Bryce Petty. Now that tells you what defense should you pick. Carolina Panthers, whether it's preseason or regular season, I'm expecting them to go out there and get over 10 fantasy points, hopefully about 15 or 20. But yeah, that's what I have right now. If you guys want to take consideration of my picks, once again, that's Josh Rosen, running back Kerryon Johnson, wide receiver DJ Moore, along with Corey Coleman, David Njoku as the tight end, and defense for the Carolina Panthers. Yes, that's what I have for tomorrow night, preseason week 2 NFL DFS on Draft Kings and Fanduel. If you're not signed up for Draft Kings and Fanduel, I will leave a link down in the description. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel so you know when my next update is going to be live on the internet for you to get help out with your DFS wins. Until then, thanks for tuning in to the 411. for your fantasy football. My name is Otto Williams. Just win, baby.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the 411 Podcast. Now get ready to make that money. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at the 411 DFS.